da, 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 da. Hey, hey. I'm trying to sing here because, hey, Instagram. It's me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the train to Tibet. I'm singing because Dean Bowman says singing, helps your heart and immune system and all the rest of that stuff. Gives you a long life. Now, let me get to the core of that. Dean is absolutely right. Dean Bowman, the singer. I know him since Screaming Headless Torsos. He was in he was in the audio. He was the vocal guy for Glorious Monster, the Bell of the Horn. We did an audio drama we did down at the Knitting Factory. Dean Bowman. Oh man, just look him up on Instagram. Dean Bowman. D-E-N-B. Dean Bowman. It's spelled the way it sounds. Okay. Incredible, man. He's doing some posts that I really love. Anyway, that's not the point. But he says singing, meaning, to me, when you say sing, just like when they it's a Sunday. Guess what? It's a grand rising. We're doing a grand rising right now. It's a Sunday. And, hey, shout out to Blue Light Brigade. In fact, let me talk to Blue Light Brigade because this we're going to get deep. Oh, it's even D moment. We're going to get deep. What Dean was trying to tell you. Well, he was telling you what he was telling you. I can't say that he's not, whatever. He was doing what he was doing. But let me take it to another level. Let me go. I just like saying the word deep. That's one of those '60s words, the words I grew up with. I'm gonna get deep. Hey, get my singer. Look, here's the thing. Singing, right? Just like remember, I say that what you should. They say now. They say you should hum. Hum as much as you can because that does some things that gives you more blood, oxygen in your blood or something like that, right? And now let's go. Let's be biblical. I mean, since y'all probably a lot of Christians running around there, whatever. It's a reference, right? It's a reference book, right? They said first there was the Word. Come on. By word, they actually mean first there was sound, or better still, vibration. What is singing? Vibration. Word, vibration. So we're talking vibration. So we're talking sound, vibration. So the world, basically, it was started with vibration. I know this only because when I was a lab technician, electron microscope, and you can see everything moves. Put a rock under there, it's moving. It's vibration every place. Okay. Now where am I going with this? As usual, we got to be circuitous. Oh, there's a word for you. Look, when I finally left the States in 2003, 2003, I was broadcast. My program Normal Radio actually came out of WBI New York, or came out of 99.5 FM in New York, right? But at that time, I had hooked things up because it's modern technology. I hooked it up because I was in D.C., but I was still doing my program out of the transmission waves out of New York. So I was doing normal radio in Washington D.C. And hooked up, and it was transmitting over 99.5 in New York. Ain't that swift? Don't you just love modern technology? We're gonna have that pretty soon, hopefully. I'll tell you if it happens. I better not say anything because then it'll jinx it. It may not happen. So let's see what happens. Just remember 99.5. It's not to play the numbers. Just remember 99.5. Okay. So here's the thing. When one of my last programs here, because it was the last program before I was leaving to go to do the workshop in South Africa, I said on air, I'm the baddest audio dramatist in the planet. Nobody can beat me. Blah 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 blah. Now here's the thing. First of all, I shouldn't say it this way, but people should not take me seriously, right? Well, you should take me seriously. Well, let me put it this way. I think things are absurd. So as absurd things are, as absurd as things can be or are, you have to understand, if it's absurd, then it's ridiculous. If it's ridiculous, I can't be made to look ridiculous. If it's ridiculous, that means, it's not serious, right? Excuse me. I got the frog in my throat. Okay. The reason I'm saying this is because when I said that, I'm the baddest audio dramatist on the planet, blah, blah, selling wolf cards. Gosh, man. It's another 60 year old. Selling wolf cards. But here's the thing. When I do stuff, don't take what I do as, well, you can take it as face value if you want, right? But it's always it's not just a underlying agenda. There's an underlying to the underlying agenda. I got agendas so agended that I don't even know that they exist, right? It's like, okay. What I was actually saying, I won't say I was putting a challenge out there. I was just saying, like, I'm good at what I do, and everybody else is good at what you do. Do what you do. Be good. I could be, if I'm the standard, not the standard. I'm good. There's got to be. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Here's my agenda under the agenda under the agenda. I don't believe that I'm the only person on the planet that does incredible audio drama or on the battles, whatever it is. But what I want to do is suss those people out, right? I want to set the thing so people say, oh, what, and make them raise their game. You know what I mean? Make them da-da-da. Well, what makes you a badass? I said, well, I do stuff without money. Well, I can do audio drama without money. I said, okay. And when I do get a little bit of money, I do audio drama with a huge cast. I have 15 technicians. I have an orchestra of 22. I have a cast of 20 people. Well, one time I did a live audio drama, 8.5 hours, no commercial break. Then they got to really start thinking. They got to say, oh, yes, this is a I did the first hip hop opera. It's an audio drama. What? You see, these I have to say it this way. I know it's bona fides is the word, but these bona fides, you got to beat these bona fides. That's how I became arts director. What I did was I just put my resume. I didn't really want to do it, but I put my resume in because I was anyway. I'm saying that because right now I'm finishing up my healing in Oroville that I got to keep on healing. I got this is now talk about challenge. Now I got to go to the States for 2 months. Well, I got to go to the States for 2 months, and in that 2 months I'm not taking any external regular healing. I might try to find a reflexology every once in someplace, whatever. But I really have to do I have to build up my muscle back up. I've got to do a whole lot of exercise, internal stuff like that. So it was 2 months of intense me. I'm the discipline. I got to step up my game. And then I got a month of hanging out in Cape Town, and then I get back to Eastern Cape with my peoples and set things up for September. You know what's happening in September, don't you? Come on, talk to Blue Light Brigade. Wake up! Oh, you're supposed to be up already. Remember, you did your exercise and everything. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about the reparations thing, right? But here's the thing. When I'm finishing up here, what I learned, I've been doing the Ayurvedic thing for basically, last year and this year. Then what I did, and I always have these plans. I have these, how Dr. Kenneth Miller said, have these unfoldings. That's a spiritual thing that people who don't want to be known as religious, whatever they call it, I unfold. I have these unfoldings, right? So recently, about a month ago, whatever, maybe a little bit less, I added the sound work, still doing the Ayurvedic, added the sound work, right? Now here's the interesting thing about sound work. Now, sound means, vibration, if you will. Music instruments, gongs and stuff like that, tinkling, all that stuff, right? Flutes, whatever, right? Now, sound work is very important. It's very interesting, right? Let me go back just a little bit. There's a thing called Reiki. It's a healing thing. I learned that in the 80s too, right? And with Reiki, what you do is you have your vibration, you have your electromagnetic, whatever your field, your vibration, and you bring your vibration close enough to your client, your patient, whoever you're working on, that you're getting into their vibration, and your two vibrations are sort of meshing, and then you're finding stuff and you're sort of healing them through this vibration, right? With this distance vibration. Now with the sound work that I do, what they do, they actually, there might be they actually touch you, there's a sheath, you know, what you're wearing your clothes and stuff like that, but there's a, they might go under, oh, here. So you're laying on a towel, right? Then they'll go under the towel, and so that'll be you, the towel in their hands like that. So they're basically doing the Reiki thing, but they're having something there so they can actually feel you and feel what's going on. They move up down your body like that. Okay. This is what I'm saying, okay? I don't know if they're going to tell you. So all I'm saying is this sound work is nothing but contact Reiki. That's what I'm saying. Contact Reiki for and then of course the sound that's happening is coming through them, come to you. Okay. Now here's the thing. Ready for this? Here's how it becomes spiritual, right? Or it becomes, well, as you may or may not know, I hang out in the Eastern Cape. That's where my abode is. My humble abode is, and it is humble. In the Eastern Cape, that's where I do my tasking. You know, tasking meaning I help with my people's the DeBrother Society for the Aged, the wisdoms that they call them. I call them the wisdoms. I gotta make that official. I gotta put a sign up, something like that, right? People my age, you know, in my thing, right? I love that. These guys, they give me such joy. It's like no matter what happens on the planet, as long as I know I can get back to them and we can do our little, you know, I give them some Reiki, not Reiki, some Reiki, some Qigong, some Tai Chi, some movement, you know, stuff I learned in acting, you know, in dance and acting. I put it all together. It's customized for them, okay? Anyway, but also I work with the young people. Right? I work with the young people. Let me just stop right there, right? And you know, I work with. When you say work, I don't get paid, so it's not work. It's whatever it is, right? But I'm their senior advisor to young people in the Eastern Cape, right? Or in DeBrother. Okay. Now, part of being down there is so long down there. In fact, when I was at the University of Fort Hare, there's a posting. That's what we posted. I learned about, you know, their spiritual practice. You know, their religion, their traditional religion. You know, because the real I should say that. Well, I have to say that real folks. They don't be no Christians. They don't be Jesuses. They don't be no Muslims. They have their own autochthonous religion that is tradition to them, right? That's what it is. And part of the concept is a thing called Lamata. Now, Lamata, now it's hard. Now, they don't. I'm gonna describe Lamata as I want to describe it, not how. I'm sure there's some scholars saying, "Oh no, this is what it is. This is what her church." Booty, you wrong. Booty, you wrong. You wrong. No, elder, no father, you wrong. Here's what it is. I think Amata is where you like you sacrifice. You're communicating with the ancestral realm. Okay. Now here's the way it is. Think of like a membrane, a cheesecloth, right? And you know, like you see it on all the things. Like it's just all over. It's just like between you, the person on this realm, and the ancestral realm, and there's this thin thing that separates you. So to communicate, you do certain things. You know, you might do a blood sacrifice here, or you know, a manipulation there, whatever have you, and then and then Amata will send messages back, say, okay, you're right, blah blah blah. Or you might be doing something, and Amata will the ancestors will do something that can permeate through that membrane that way. Okay, follow me on this. Okay, here's where I like to say this because I hear this all the time on the internet. They try to get you to do this. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's where it applies to us. Blue Light Brigade, this applies to us. Here we go. There's a thing called fascia. F-A-S-C-I, I can remember it. CIA. F-A-S-C-I-A. 6-letter word. I should use that. I gotta use that in a Kotaba in the next 2 weeks. I gotta somehow slip that in there. Now fascia, people don't really talk about it because remember they're working on me, right? So I have purposely lost a lot of weight so they can get to muscle, you know. So you got your skin, right? Then you got your muscle, you got your tendons, you got your what do you call that? Your blood vessels, right? You got your nerves, right? But what people don't really tell you, there's a membrane, that kind of thing that goes through all of that stuff, that connects all of that stuff, that's around all that stuff. In that sense, yeah, if it was to be called an organ, it's a bigger organ than the biggest organ, and the biggest organ is your skin. Think about that. See, I told you it was going deep. You didn't believe me. Well, you should listen to your brother. He don't be lying. No, he do not be lying. So the fascia, right, is what, when they're doing the sound work, that's what they're manipulating. They're making the fascia, you know, become, I guess, more pliable. Because the fascia gets you know, you get trauma and its fascia tightens up, you know. So you get an injury, the fascia tightens up and stays tight. So what they're trying to do with the sound work, that's why it takes time. Because even if they work, then that thing's got to work. It's got to work the fascia, you see? And so when it works the fascia, it might take months, you know. You might have a session, then it might take a couple of days before that really starts moving things. Because the other thing, what happens is the body, your body is smart. You know, your body figures things out. And if you keep on doing something consistently, your body says, oh, that's what you want to do, then your body starts helping you, you know. So with this fascia, with this sound work, they call it sound, I guess they call it sound work, right? It manipulates the fascia. So all this working together, what I'm trying to say is, with the Ayurvedic massage, with the oils that they use, that permeation through things like that, through tissue, and then with the fascia, that's how the healing is happening. So now when I'm doing my work, when I have to work, I have to do it such a way that I'm also helping the fascia, you know, so I'm addressing my own fascia. You see? So that's what's happening. Now, here's where it gets more interesting. If you look at Amata, like I was saying, and fascia, and if you think like I think, that the universe, everything is connected. What is the connecting thing? What is the connecting tissue? What is the connecting force? What is the connecting of the universe? What is the fascia? What is the fascia of the universe? That fascia is the Great Spirit, Amata, God, Allah, whatever. So that's what has been on my mind, and so I thought I'd share it with you, Blue Light Brigade, because you know we got things to do. I want you to be clear. I want you to know who I am. I want you to know where I'm coming from. We're all connected. We're connected by, and if you need we're connected. Just like your body is connected, the fascia connects everything. Just like your body's connected, and we're all connected through like that. Now I'm trying to connect it. The Blue Light Brigade, we're connected because of our thoughts. That'll help our speech, and then it will be our action. Now you don't. Okay, let me stop right there. We'll continue this another time. Meanwhile, I'll check y'all later. Bye.